Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha, Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders and their bishops. Double honors to my elder apostle and bishop of this camp, Aharawan Ban Yasharala and Kanak Sa'an Ban Yasharala. Shalom to the sincere Akim, preaching his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. Nakar Harab Ban Yasharala coming out of the Lions Den camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now today I'll be coming out a lesson, and it is on this article. And it says Trump's strikes on Iran could cost the American economy up to $210 billion. We know what that is. Report says. It says the U.S. war with Iran could cost the American economy as much as $210 billion, according to physical analyst Kent Smetters, director of the widely used Penn-Wharton budget model. It says the ongoing conflict is already driving disruption to trade, global energy markets, and gasoline prices. And that was pretty much what was going to happen. It says, though it is difficult to precisely estimate how much the war will impact the economy, Smetters told Fortune it's gonna affect the economy over here very drastically, and within weeks. They're gonna say months, but within weeks, people are gonna start to see prices drastically change. But let's continue. It says his prediction currently estimate a 115 billion economic loss. I think it's gonna be more than that. I'm not gonna say I think it's gonna be more than that. Way more than that. But continuing, it says though that figure could range between 50 billion and upward bound to the 210 billion, depending on the nature of the duration of the conflict. This ain't finna be no one and done in and out. See, that's what President Babylon was thinking, that it was gonna be that, and it ain't. Them Ishmaelites, them Persians, them Carmanians, they not playing. You know, ran up over there and found out they got hands for real, and they ain't even went. We ain't gonna say they ain't even went to the big boom yet. You know, the nuclear option. But let's continue. It's just one problem I have with the cost of war calculations is that they really do ignore the counterfactual. He told the outlet, if Iran really did get a nuclear weapon, then we might have spent a lot more a lot more on military and even repairs of cities later on. It says the president has acknowledged the economic threat of war, offering government-backed insurance and potential naval escorts to energy tankers moving through key choke points in the Gulf region. It's kind of too late for all of that now. It says if necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. And like he's still trying to go through that. Like they own that over there. That's why they shut it down. You ain't gonna be able to go through that. That's why this war is disrupting the economy over here, and it's starting to spill out on the global stage. But again, if necessary, the United States will begin escorting Salakia tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible, Trump announced on Tuesday. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States economic and military might is okay. If it was so great, how come let's continue. That's not why I'm bringing this article out. It says Trump, speaking to reporters in Washington, acknowledged that the war could mean oil prices will be higher. He's going to say for a while, no, they're going to be exponentially higher than they've ever been. It's as though he insisted once the conflict is over, these prices are going to drop. Yeah, that's not going to happen, right? They control that. They control that over there, and you messing with them. They can shut that off indefinitely. That'll crash a lot of economies around the world. It really would. But this is When you prideful and you arrogant and you haughty and you lofty, you think you can just run up in somewhere and it ain't gonna be no resistance. Well, you're getting met with resistance now. Anyway, let's continue. It says, at the cost of trading on Tuesday, prices for benchmark setting West Texas intermediate crude oil were up more than 5%. The national average price per gallon was up more than 10 cents, according to an American Automobile Association. Things is going up. It says much of the economic impact of the war would depend on how long the conflict persists, according to analysts. And that's really what it is. And the longer they stay over there, the more money it's going to cost Babylon. It ain't costing Iran nothing. It's costing Babylon everything. And Babylon, America. Okay, it is what it is. All that co-signing then got you into a problem, but this is all the doing and the will of the Lord. That this is that we even seeing these things happen like it's supposed to happen. Let's continue. It says markets right now really under markets are right now really underpricing the tail risk of a sustained engagement and an operation that does not wrap up quickly, and it's not going to wrap up quickly. It wasn't finna be an in and out. See what President Babylon thought he was going to go over there, going to be a boom, 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 regime change, da 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 da, and then everything going to go back to normal. No, it ain't go that way, and it ain't supposed to go that way, and it ain't going to go that way. But let's continue. It says restore travel through the Strait of Hormuz and get everything back to de-escalation and normal in a timely manner, former Biden economic advisor and chief of policy and advocacy at the Groundwork Collaborative, Alex Jaquez, however you want to say that, told the press, Associated Press. It says, in addition, the economic costs, the U.S. operation So, like in addition to economic costs, the U.S. operation could cost another 65 billion in budgetary spending on the sprawling military campaign itself, which has seen the U.S. Marshal Air and Naval Forces toward Iran from bases across the region. At present, it is not possible to know how long the U.S. fight, dubbed Operation Epic Fury, more like Operation Epic Flop, uh, will last, according to the president that he sent the letter to Congress. This is although the United States desire a quick, enduring peace, I mean more of a quick, in and out piece of rulership over there, but it ain't gonna happen. But anyway, it's a quick and enduring peace. It is not possible to know the full scope of and duration of military operations that may be necessary. So yeah, this just covering up, meaning translation. We done ran over here, and now we done got hemmed up, and we gonna be over here for a while, and it's gonna really cost Babylon America much money. But people over here are comfortable. They used to prices being at a certain, we'll say, between either at a specific price or in a price range where it fluctuates, and people don't even know that it's gonna affect them, but but people over here in Babylon America gonna quickly see at the register, at the stores, at the aisles, at them shelves, in them stores, and especially when it comes down to these gas prices. Yeah, people finna feel the hurt over here in Babylon America, and it is what it is. It's just the truth. This is second address, but this is 16 and 21. This says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then, Salakia, shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So a lot of people here, they've been thinking that, things been relatively easy. You could go to the store, you could buy this and do various things. So they think because they could do these things that they're in good case. But the whole time, Evils are steady growing on the earth, and we are steady inching towards the ending of this age. At the world as we know it. But right now, people think, oh, they can still go and get a gallon of milk, $2, maybe if they catch a sale or something. But $3, maybe even $4. You know, they think they certain things that they can go and get, they think is good. But victuals ain't gonna be so cheap no more. As long as this skirmish keep going, or should I say this war? Because that's what it is. It's a war. It's a proxy war. That's gonna get the bigger powers involved. The Lord said, "The least of the flock shall draw them out," and the least of the flock is them perpetrators over there. Them. It's a word I was gonna use. It slipped me, but let's continue. Let's get my last point. Because anything that this devil does, it is always a problem for everybody else, even himself. But he think that he could absorb absorb the blow, and then kind of distribute it to everybody else while everybody else suffer. That's how this devil operates. But this is Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. It says, "His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." So this devil's ways are always grievous. They're always detrimental. They're always harmful. They're never ever beneficial. But when it comes down to the judgment of the Lord, that is what's far above out of this devil's sight. He can't see that the Heavenly Father is watching him and uh guiding his every move. And what this devil don't know, the Lord is guiding him right down into perdition, because that's where he's supposed to go, because he's the son of perdition. He's the son of destruction, so he got to be deconstructed, destroyed. And as for his enemies, this devil stays puffing at his enemies. You got to think, he was puffing at Iran with Soleimani. That was puffing, doing certain things, coming in with joint drills, puffing at Iran. But this devil, he does that to every other nation that he think is weak, and he thought Iran was weak. But the Lord has made the weak strong in this day and age, so ain't gonna be no just bullying. That's why he's over there right now begging for ceasefires. Nah, we need none. And Iran like, we don't do ceasefires, player. We don't even move like that. You ran up on us, we ain't run up on you. So guess what? Now they got to feel the full wrath, and the Lord gonna keep this devil over there until uh 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 his behind has been thoroughly spanked. Then the Lord gonna let him come back on over where he come from with that tomfoolery. So yeah, people in Babylon, America gonna feel the squeeze within weeks to months, but mainly weeks. And with that, shalom.